Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5th episode of the Fight Pit podcast. I mean, this one's an exciting one. 2 pay-per-views. Plus
Not just two pay-per-views, two banger pay-per-views as well.
plus Dynamite, Rampage, Raw, Smackdown, UFC 290
And other
that's
outside
coming up.
news.
I mean, and other outside news. Yes, this is going to be crazy. All right, guys? You got to stick with us. You just got here. You got to stick with us. If you enjoy the video, please
You
like
gotta stay
it.
for the
Please
whole
like it right
time.
now.
Even
Yes.
if it's 5 hours long, you gotta stay for the whole podcast.
You know, Sunday, reserve that day for God and this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all know what we have to do first. The percentages for our amazing, spectacular, stupendous, crazy, rivalry that we have going on with this trophy hunt that we're doing. Whoever gets the WWE 2K22, 23, and the UFC 4 trophies, the platinum trophies first, so you have collected every single video game trophy for that game, you win.
Yeah.
$50, that's our bet.
Bro, I ain't betting $50. You got me messed up. I ain't gambling nothing. Get that out of
Anyway.
here.
Okay, so for me, 2K23 is 64%.
Oh, that's good.
Which is a
From where you were.
24%. It's a 24%
Increase.
from 40% that I had last week. I have been grinding. I'm on my grind.
I'm
beating
honestly
J-Dog.
not surprised because I've been playing here and there. And then I think there was one day I woke up and he had like 6 to 9 trophies that he had done within 1 day period. I'm like, this dude catching up.
64%.
So I gotta
What do you
do my
have?
work. I'm still doing pretty well, but I still gotta do my work. Continue.
22, I have 72%, and 4, 90%, same as last week. What about you, man?
For me, I went up 1% from last week with 2K23. I got one more trophy done. I'm at 92% with 2K23. I'm at 82% with 2K22, which is the same, and then I'm also the same with UFC 4, which is 30%.
Okay. So, it seems like we're getting to be a little even. I think you're still winning.
Yeah,
But
I'm still
we're getting
winning.
even.
I'm gonna try to mix it up a little bit over these next couple days. Try to get some things going in the other games as well.
That UFC 4, 90% is significant, though.
It is significant. I know it is, and
I'm
I don't play UFC 4 enough to where like I would have these trophies. Like I know they're not gonna be hard, like a majority of them. There's a few in there that are ultra rares, but a majority of them are just rares and very rares.
yeah.
So we'll see. I'll probably get to work on UFC 4 sometime in the future.
I don't care when you get to
Meaning
work on
this
it. I'm
week.
gonna beat you.
We'll see.
Nope.
That'll be
Not
my
seeing
response
anything.
every
I'm going to
time.
beat
We'll
you.
see. We'll see.
So, moving on in the podcast, from our insane rivalry, we have UFC 290, the card that Dana White announced, and it's a big one. It's not just one of the regular, fight nights. It's not one of the regular UFC pay-per-views. This is a big card. 2 championship fights, a championship contender fight, some pretty good matchups, and then we have a Robbie Lawler retirement. That's what we're going to start off with. It's in the prelims. It's not on the main card. But Robbie Lawler is fighting... I can't remember his name. It's Price. It's something Price. I know that. Either way, they put Robbie Lawler's retirement on the prelims, which is weird. You know what I mean? Like, why don't you put it on the main card? I mean, he's given a lot to the sport, so...
Yeah.
I feel like you would want to have that on more of a... on the main card as an actual good
like a
send off
good
for him.
fight, yeah, and a
It's
good send off with
it's
him
Nico
being one of
Price.
with Robbie Lawler being one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird that they're just doing it on prelim, like, just like, see ya. Essentially just like a small goodbye. Like Frankie Edgar when they did his send off. I mean, he got absolutely demolished, but when they did his, I think it was main card. Like it was like one of the last couple fights during
Yeah.
that card. So
So that's going to be on the
it's
prelims.
weird.
It's Nico Price versus Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler's retirement. And I don't really care about who wins. I want Robbie to win because it's his send off. But
Yeah. Don't pull Frankie Edgar. Don't do that to Robbie. That'll make
yeah.
him look super stupid.
So there are other fights on the prelims, but we're not going to be covering those because this this card is stacked. I like the main card. It has enough substance,
Yeah.
sustenance. So we got Bo Nickel taking on Trayshawn Gore in a middleweight matchup, which I think neither of them are ranked in the top 15.
I'm pretty sure Bo Nickel's gonna win that fight.
Yeah, he's
Based
the
off
up
what
and
I've
comer.
seen. The dude is a monster.
Yeah,
He's one of the all around honestly one of the best fighters I've seen in a while. He reminds me a lot of this might be a weird like comparison, but like a Frank Mir. Like he's very very good on the ground, but he's also got a very hard hitting style while
yeah.
he's standing up. So it's very much another Frank Mir.
I've never even heard of Trayshawn Gore.
I've vaguely heard of Trayshawn Gore. That's what I was saying when I said. I think it was in some video. I don't know what video.
Well, this is definitely an up and comer fight. It's middleweight. Bo Nickel. I feel like he's going to be a star down the road. So I definitely go Bo Nickel.
Yeah.
And then we have another. Well, it's not really an up and comer match, but it's a championship contender match. It is Robert Whitaker versus Dricus du Plessis, and I've never heard of Dricus, but he is like apparently very very good. I guess I'm a casual,
I
but
mean,
Robert's going for that 3 matches with Israel. Du Plessis is ranked number 6, and Roberts ranked number 2. That's in middleweight. That's I don't know. I kind of want to see Hamzat. I know he usually
I'll,
fights. He usually fights welterweight, but it's been said that he's not going to be fighting welterweight. He's going to be in the middleweight, especially since he missed weight against Nate Diaz.
yeah.
But either way, I mean, this is going to be a good fight. I'm going to pick Robert, and this is a contender match. Whoever wins is going to fight Israel Adesanya for the championship.
Yeah.
So are you taking Robert or
I'm taking Robert
have you
as
heard of
much as I
Dricus?
like. I've heard very little about him. Like I've heard that, like you said, he's very good. He has a very aggressive style. But other than that, I've
I'm
never
gonna
really heard of
go.
him.
I'm
I'm
gonna
going Robert Whitaker because it makes the most sense.
After the podcast, I'll watch some Dricus clips to see what he's all about. So then we got the flyweight championship. This is gonna be Brandon Moreno versus Pantoja. Pantoja's ranked number 2. This is the flyweight championship fight. Brandon's the flyweight champion. Pantoja is number 2 contender. I haven't really followed
Yeah,
the flyweight division. I don't know who the number 1 contender is.
I don't really follow along either. So
I think like Davis and Figueroa. I think he's going to return on the prelims, and I know he's a flyweight fighter.
yeah,
I don't really know a lot of history about the flyweight division, but I do know that Moreno's the champion, and I know that Moreno is freaking awesome, and this is definitely going to be a quick fight. Not as in a short fight, but these dudes are going to throw like it's a machine gun.
Yeah,
All of these flyweight dudes do.
yeah.
I'm picking Moreno, though.
I'm picking Moreno as well, just because. I mean, what I've seen from Moreno, he is. It's basically because I know more about Moreno than I do the other guy. I think I've seen one of the other guy's fights, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen enough of him to know what to look for.
I mean, this would be the final fight on the card, the main event. Not Moreno versus Pantoja, but Volkanovski versus Rodriguez, Yair Rodriguez, for the featherweight championship. And Rodriguez is the number one contender. Volkanovski, obviously, the one of the most popular fighters right now, and number two
Yeah,
pound for pound since John Jones came back. He was number one in a lot of people's
yeah,
eyes, anyway. So I'm really, I've I haven't really seen a lot of Rodriguez, but I know on UFC 4 I get my ass kicked every time somebody's playing as him, so I think it's going to be a good fight. But I am
yeah. I
picking
think so
Volkanovski.
too. Um, as much as I would love to see Rodriguez win the title off of Volkanovski, Volkanovski is way too aggressive. He's gonna go into that fight,
He's the
and
best.
he is the best all-around fighter right now.
He's the best featherweight fighter right now, definitely. And maybe, I mean, a lot of people said that he got screwed with the. Oh, fuck, what's his name? Islam Makhachev, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. I knew I had it.
yeah. I mean, that was still like a good fight based off what I heard, but in my opinion, even I think it could come down to the decision for Rodriguez versus Volkanovski because they're that
Yeah,
evenly matched, in my opinion.
yeah.
I think Volk will get the win
Yeah, I
for
definitely think
sure.
that too. So, I mean, we're already talking about UFC. Let's just go into this. Well, first of all, 290 is going to be a big card. I've been hearing a lot of things about UFC 300 that's going to be a huge card. I wonder what they'll put on there. I heard somebody saying that they should do McGregor and uh, Chandler, but that would be in like April of next year. So I think that's way too long to wait.
Yeah, I think it'll be earlier than that.
Yeah. But speaking of UFC, John Jones, best of all time, has been talking about retiring.
After his Miocic fight,
Yeah, I mean, he's been
he's
talking
brought
about
up,
that, like, everywhere.
yeah, which as much as I know we've talked about it separately, but as much as you disagree, I'm not surprised that he's thinking about retiring against Miocic. I think it's a good way to go out against one of the best in
Yeah.
Stipe.
And he has been fighting since, like, 2009, I think, in UFC at least. I'm not
I
sure,
mean,
maybe even before
he
that.
hurt himself pretty bad the last fight. Dude completely like destroyed his toe. You remember seeing that?
Yeah.
It was disgusting. I remember watching a replay video of that. Ooh,
Well,
ugh.
I think he's retiring based off the fact of just he has been fighting for a long time, plus the wear and tear
Right.
on the body in general is
Yeah.
just
I was just saying, like that was.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah, that was nasty. So moving on from UFC stuff, I mean that John Jones stuff, I don't want him to retire.
Me neither.
That's all I'm
I,
gonna say
w-
about that. However,
I,
obviously he deserves to be happy doing whatever he wants.
in a sense, I don't want him to retire, but I know, like, I understand the reasoning of retiring if he were
Yeah,
to against Stipe.
yeah. So we're moving on from UFC to wrestling now. I mean, that's pretty much all the MMA stuff we have to talk about for today. So, any people that were wanting MMA content, sorry about this. But we're moving on to Monday Night Raw.
All right, so with Raw, the startup of Raw felt, based off what I seen, but I also believe it too once I started seeing like comments on Twitter about it. It felt very Attitude Era-ish at the beginning
Yeah.
because you get the opening part of Raw. Cody is walking to the arena, and you just get Brock Lesnar out of nowhere. This dude has got supernatural strength, and this dude just straight up pushes him right through a table. I'm like,
Yeah, that
what's
was
happening?
crazy. I mean, Cody just gets murdered.
Yeah, and then he just gets thrown around. I mean, the one of the parts that got me when I was watching it was when Brock Lesnar threw him through those, like, I don't know what you call them, like those bins, like the silver
Yeah,
bins.
yeah.
Maybe think of that Bobby Lashley and Mustafa Ali segment,
Oh my god.
like from a while back, where Bobby Lashley just manhandles Mustafa Ali and just straight up throws him into the same kind of area. I'm just
Yeah.
like, in my opinion, Cody and Brock have close to the same strength, but like, I know Brock is
Oh, I
crazy.
doubt that. I doubt Cody and
They
Lesnar have the
they
same
they
strength.
show okay. They show them having close to the same strength in wrestling,
Well, Lesnar
like
definitely showed he
majority
had
of the
more
time.
strength because he threw him everywhere and then
Well, I get
freaking
that part.
put him against that gate and like threw that metal bin
Yeah,
that was
he
just
hit his hand with a
broke his
metal
arm.
bin. Yeah, yeah. So threw him around, and he ended up pinning Cody against the gate. There's a metal gate. Pinned him against it. Held out his arm. Used that metal bin. Smashed his arm. And you could tell he was in serious pain because he's. I mean, obviously it's kayfabe, but still,
Yeah.
like, his selling was really good on that, and I enjoyed that part because I was like,
Well, after that, it immediately cut to Heyman, and Heyman did this
I,
promo.
I love this part because Heyman he comes out and he said, just for the record, I had nothing to do with
Yeah.
what happened there. I'm like, always has to allude, anytime something happens with Brock Lesnar attacking somebody, he always has to allude to the fact, like, it wasn't me. Just because I've dealt with Brock Lesnar before doesn't mean that I
Yeah.
was the reason for that happening.
It is funny. Well, after that little funny thing, Heyman had. I mean, it was just a basic promo saying that Roman and Solo will win. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. There was nothing necessarily memorable about it, at least for me.
Basic Paul
Other than
Heyman
that,
stuff.
yeah, just perfection. And then Sammy and Kevin, they came out and just completely just pretty much after he was done with the promo, came out. Heyman just ran away. He was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny, and Kevin and Sammy just talking about the fact they don't like Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa. They're gonna win. There's no chance. We're gonna break up the bloodline, everything like that.
Yeah.
And there was one funny thing. Kevin he dedicated their win on Sunday to, or not Sunday, Saturday, to the Usos, which was
Yeah,
just even more fire.
the whole part of that. Like, he was like, Roman and Solo are dedicating their win to the Wild Samoans, Alpha and Sika.
Yeah.
We're gonna dedicate our win to the greatest tag team of all time, even better than them, Jimmy and Jay Uso. I'm like, bruh, I love how they just use their own family to get under their skin.
This story is amazing, but you know what?
It gets better. It gets better.
I love the Triple H booking because Sammy and Kevin, they have their feud on SmackDown. They're also having a feud on Raw because Sammy mentioned Imperium, and then Imperium decided to come out and they surrounded Kevin and Sammy. They were about to
Yeah,
beat him up, and Matt Riddle, he came out to help because he's going to be the third in their
he was
match later
revealed
on
to
in the
be the
night.
mystery partner, which I think, as much as I like Matt Riddle and I like the idea of him being in the match, I thought that was kind of stupid. Like, just reveal it to be Matt Riddle. Don't just say, "Oh, it's a mystery partner." Because when they first revealed a mystery partner, I'm like, maybe somebody with history with Imperium. And I immediately, like, we even talked about this. Uh, I immediately thought of Ilya Dragunov. I'm like, is this gonna be his main roster call up? Yeah, no.
Well, it's the same
I
thing
I,
with
w- I would have loved seeing Sammy and Kevin team up with Ilya against Imperium. That would have been, I think that would have been a really good match. But it was, I mean, it still ended up being a good match in the end. But we'll get to that later.
yeah, they
But
basically had a huge brawl. Uh, Imperium, they were acting like they were gonna go backstage, and then they just ran, and then they got cleared out by everybody. So
yeah,
the next thing that happened
essentially.
was basically Byron Saxton. He asked for an update on Cody, and he got no response from Adam Pearce. Uh, yeah, fuck Byron. Corey
Nobody likes
Graves,
Byron Saxton.
nobody. Corey Graves interviewed Seth Rollins next, and it was the same thing from last week and the week before because Seth Rollins was on the movie set. He wasn't able to
Yeah.
be at Raw, so they did a huge interview, and it was the same stuff. Just this is going to be an epic clash, and don't get me wrong, it was the same stuff, but it was still pretty exciting.
Yeah, and I mean they simply just talked about how far back their rivalry goes, and then
Yeah.
like it goes back to their days, and I think it was Ring of Honor that they showed. Was it Ring of Honor? I don't know. I can't remember
Yeah.
what company. I am pretty sure it was Ring of Honor, but yeah, like that their rivalry goes all the way back to 2005 when they had their first match when Seth Rollins was 18. I thought that was kind of cool because I was like, I didn't know that he started fighting that young. Which I mean, I guess it makes sense for how long he's been in the business. But yeah, their whole build up with how they were doing that, like even with Seth Rollins doing this movie, I thought that was a really not only good idea, but it was really cool to see them go back and like basically do a life story of Seth Rollins. It kind of it it kind of was a good build up for the time that he was gone. So
Yeah. We had a look back at Raw Talk after the Seth Rollins interview, and it basically showed the Judgment Day and Shinsuke Nakamura. They were in a little confrontation. Damian Priest was blaming Shinsuke for the triple threat loss for the World Championship tournament thing they had.
yeah,
And basically, Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura got set up, and my immediate thought was, what the hell? This could be a WrestleMania match. Shinsuke
dream
Nakamura
match.
versus Finn
Yeah,
Balor. Yeah, it was very
like
exciting to even see
for the
that.
biggest for the top championship main event and everything. Just
Plus, they're both NXT alumni, so they're automatically gonna have a great
both
match.
former NXT champions, former NXT alumni. Just like it's crazy.
I mean, the setup wasn't like anything big, but to even get
Right.
this match is a blessing, I guess.
And for it to not even be yeah, it wasn't even the main event.
No, it was
Is
not.
wild.
Yeah, I mean, Raw is just amazing. WWE and AEW are just amazing right now.
Yeah.
So then we had Brock Lesnar. He came out and he offered an open challenge for anybody to get him at Night of Champions. He was saying Cody Rhodes won't be available. Well, anyway, Cody Rhodes came out and got his ass kicked. Broke his arm. If his
Broke
arm
his arm
wasn't broke
even more.
before,
It's
if his
definitely
arm
broken
wasn't broke
now.
before, Lesnar
I'm
definitely
pretty
broke it.
I'm pretty sure that's a lie. I don't know if they said that, but I'm pretty sure I remember them saying, "Well, if his arm wasn't broke before, it's definitely broke
Yeah.
now."
It is
I'm
weird
like,
just because
every time every time Brock puts somebody in the Kimura and bends their arm like that, most of the time their arm's broken, either
yeah,
realistically or kayfabe.
it's definitely kayfabe. All of it is.
Well,
Because the way he does it, I
well,
mean,
yeah, that's
it's
true.
weird seeing it. It's weird seeing it as someone who likes MMA as well because he's not even going to break the elbow or the forearm. It's going to be the shoulder, so it's
Yeah,
kind of weird. I think they should probably do something about that, like make it realistic. But either way, it's still. I mean, I don't know. You don't want to actually make it too realistic and actually get somebody hurt, but
Right.
just act like his shoulders hurt. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But then Balor
Because,
beat up Shinsuke Nakamura. I
of
mean, yeah,
course,
that was a little thing. Uh, Cody Rhodes was then shown kicking everybody out of the locker room.
he was mad.
Yeah.
I remember that. That cracked me up. I was like Byron was still trying to get a word with Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce is like, he won't even let anybody in or anything. And then Adam Pearce tries to go in there again. And Cody's like, everybody out. Everybody get out. I don't need anybody's help. I was just want to be by myself. Get out. And he just slams the door. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, it was really. I like how they're doing this. They have
It was
every.
uncharacteristic of Cody. I was like, hmm.
I liked how
You
they were
usually
doing
don't.
this throughout the entire night because you had Cody get attacked by Lesnar at first, and then there's multiple segments of the Cody Rhodes stuff.
Right,
It's awesome.
right.
So after that, there was a match between Raquel versus Sonya Deville, and Raquel won, and
Squash
then
match,
Shotzi made the
essentially.
save. It wasn't really anything of importance, but Shotzi made the
No.
save, so Shotzi's going to be the tag team partner for the Fatal 4-Way tag team match,
Yes, sir.
which was, I guess, today.
It was
Because
tonight,
we're recording
and
this on
we'll
Monday.
get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go over that next week. So, y'all want to know what happened? You're gonna have to stay tuned until next week. So, just keep an eye out. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Next, we had the Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus contract signing, and
Mm, this was awesome.
it was
I love
funny.
this.
It was
They,
beforehand. They had Trish Stratus ask Adam Pearce for a no-touch clause, and he just
he
said
said
no.
no.
That was pretty funny.
I can't believe the reference that they made in this contract signing. I never thought they would bring this up again.
What
But
exactly was it?
can I do it?
I
Can I
don't
do this
care.
part? Okay. I love this part so much. I talked to my family about it. Um, so first Becky yeah, they both come out. Becky's out there first. She's waiting on Trish, and Trish takes a while to get out there, but she eventually comes out. Trish starts. She basically says like none of this would be like none of what happened in the women's division would happen because of me. Um, and that Becky Lynch wouldn't be where she is if it wasn't for Trish, and that like basically women wouldn't be main eventing WrestleMania if it wasn't for me. Like basically taking all the credit for herself. And Becky just goes off and is I don't remember everything that happened. The main thing I remember is the reference, and Trish Stratus later on just says like basically I'm gonna embarrass you when it comes to Night of Champions. I'm going to embarrass you in our match, and I'm gonna beat you. And then Becky essentially says like you you think you're gonna embarrass me? You want to talk about embarrassing? At least I didn't have to bark like a dog.
Yeah.
And then after that, she's mad, and everybody's just like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what happened next. And then they said something, and then I don't remember the line that she said. I'm gonna see if I can find it real
Becky
quick.
Lynch said, "Welcome to the big time, bitch. Woof woof."
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. I couldn't remember the line. I'm like, bro, that was great.
Yeah,
And
it was
then
a.
as Trish Stratus is walking up the ramp, you just hear Becky going, "Woof woof, woof woof." I'm just like, bro, she's going all in on that reference.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a
That's
good
great,
segment to hype for the match on Saturday.
for sure.
We had Adam Pierce again. He just said that Cody's arm is mangled. And then Byron interviewed the new Raquel and Shotzi tag team. Nothing really there. It's just, hey, we're friends. It didn't really matter. We had Dominic Mysterio versus Apollo Crews, which I'm very happy to see Apollo back on Raw in an actual spot. However, there was no reaction for Apollo Crews, really. If
I'm honestly not surprised that there was no
Yeah,
reaction.
it sucks. I mean, Dominic Mysterio, great heel. The people were booing him like crazy. Rhea Ripley, I mean, she's a huge heel, and she does get booed sometimes, but she was getting so much praise, and yeah, Apollo was getting nothing. It sucked, but I wish there was more for Apollo. It just seems
Yeah.
like the crowd doesn't like him for some reason. Turn him heel, maybe, but don't do that weird African
No,
gimmick.
please. Please. If you're gonna turn him heel, do it right this time.
For real.
Please. I hated I don't as much as like it's good to see Apollo being dominant. That African style gimmick that he had sucked. It was
Yeah, it did.
stupid. It was absolutely stupid and terrible.
It just
Oh,
seems like he doesn't have a character again. It seems like he'd be on the
right.
indies. Somebody you'd see on the indies. But
It seems like somebody especially in his interview that he had, seemed like he was like new to the business with the terminology and the stuff he was saying. I was just like, eh? Haven't
yeah.
you been wrestling for a couple of years now? Why you sound like somebody that's fresh to the business? It's weird. I don't know why they're setting him up that way. I get it, you're trying to rebuild him, but don't rebuild him to the point where he seems brand spanking new.
Brand
Gee,
spanking new.
brand spanking new.
uh, there's one thing I wanted to say about this. It was that Dominic Mysterio has improved a lot.
Oh yeah.
Character wise, plus
Oh
just
yeah.
wrestling wise. So we had another hype promo for AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. The Dominic Mysterio stuff is actually good, though. I'm very happy
Yeah.
to
Which I think
see
him
that.
being paired with not only Rhea but the Judgment Day in general has really helped with that.
Yeah,
Like uh, with having Finn Balor especially, somebody who is a huge veteran not only in WWE but in companies such as New Japan and other companies around the world, like being that well experienced, that well rounded, having somebody like that in your corner, being able to teach you along the way is
yeah,
definitely going to help, especially for somebody who has potential like Dominic.
yeah. Yeah, enough about Dominic. Dominic sucks. I hate him. After
You
that,
suck. You suck.
we had AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. Hype. Just backstory on both of them. It was really awesome. And then they made
Yeah,
the announcement of the Money in the Bank qualifying matches. I want LA Knight to win the Money in the Bank.
me too. I
Uh,
hope he does,
yeah,
and then he gets the push that he deserves, because he does deserve it. Like, even though he's one of the older wrestlers in the company, like he's 40, but this dude can still do it. Like, he's still got such good character. Which I'm not saying like older people in the companies are not going to have good character. It's just like, I don't know. He's definitely something special for sure.
yeah,
His
he
character work,
is.
like his character work to me, like blows me away. Like, he's one of the best heels right now. Because there's not a lot of heels out there that can like go out there and get a pop as a heel.
Like for
He's one of the
real.
only he's like one of the only heels in recent time that I've heard go out in an entrance. Guy that can go out and literally not even wrestle and still get
Yeah,
a pop. Which we'll get to that later on from Night of Champions, because there is a little something that happens.
yeah,
But still, like, it's mind-boggling. But yeah, I would love for LA Knight to win Money in the Bank. It would be perfect for him.
he's a main event player. And speaking of the main event, I'm just kidding. That was so horrible. Anyway, the main event was Imperium versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Matt Riddle. There was one thing I liked in this match. I mean, not just one thing. This entire match was amazing. But Riddle and Gunther had a little showdown. Riddle was in the ring, Gunther got tagged in, and the
Definitely
entire
teasing.
crowd was like, "Oh my God, yes, it would be
Definitely a teasing
amazing."
a future Intercontinental Championship showdown
Yeah,
for sure, or at least just a general showdown
I'd like
later
to
down
see
the
Riddle
line.
beat him.
It would be nice, yeah. I don't know though, because there's so many contenders there. Like I would love to see Bronson Reed
Yeah,
versus Gunther feud with Bronson Reed taking the title off of him. Same thing with Riddle. I would love to see Riddle take the title off of Gunther. There's so many like different players that you can work into that. But yeah,
but it had a Kevin, Sammy, and Riddle win, and I kind of thought that was the wrong decision, especially for a 3-on-3. I think that's the first 3-on-3 we've seen other than the Sheamus stuff. I'm pretty sure they
yeah.
lost there too.
What?
That 3-on-3 at like Extreme Rules. Pretty sure they lost
Uh,
that
with what?
with the
Extreme
Brawling Brutes.
Rules, Brawling
Imperium
Brutes
versus the Brawling
versus.
Brutes.
I think. Did they? They might have. I think they
Anyway, they
did.
lost this one,
I don't
so
remember.
I don't like to really see tag teams lose, especially if it's a three-man team and they're supposed to be the
Right.
specialists of that. So it's weird.
Close
So moving on to
betrayal.
SmackDown, we had Sheamus versus Theory start the night off, and I like to see this because my first thought on Raw was that there was a lot of promos and not a lot of matches. There was also a lot
Yeah.
of stuff that we didn't cover on Raw because my Hulu stuff I don't get the entire 3 hours. I only get the best two
It cuts
hours.
it. Yeah, it cuts
Yeah,
it in half essentially.
not in half, but like by pretty much by 45 minutes. I think
Yeah.
there was like Alpha Academy stuff, maybe.
I don't know. I don't remember a lot of Smack. Wait.
I'm
Yeah,
talking about
yeah. I had
Raw.
to remember if I watched SmackDown. I did. I had to watch it the night after because I had to work on that Friday.
Man,
But
he's
yeah.
slacking.
Man, shut up.
So you had Sheamus take on Theory. I like that.
Yeah.
It started off with a good, good match, and this was a good
Yeah.
match. There was one spot I liked. Theory tried to go for the 10 beats, and it didn't work. Uh,
I would love to see Theory go for the 10 beats, like, and actually, like, do it.
yeah,
That would
yeah,
be funny.
he did not get it, and some other stuff happened, and basically Theory was not doing well. He grabbed a chair, and the Brawling Brutes took it from him. And then Sheamus went for the 10 beats, and oh boy, he got 25 out of it. He really
He
milked
should have
it.
went for 30.
Theory was fucked up, but something I really liked. Pretty Deadly came out and they attacked the Brawling Brutes. It distracted Sheamus, and Sheamus got Kit Wilson on the apron and hit him with the 10 beats. But while he was hitting him with it, I think he got to 7. Basically, Theory rolling him up,
Theory got to
and
roll it.
Theory
Yeah.
retained.
Yeah.
Which it's not a bad thing to see. He wasn't on the pay per view, which was that kind of sucks.
Yeah, but, I
But he
mean,
did get this smack. He did get to defend his title right before the pay per view.
yeah.
But yeah, he retains due to Pretty Deadly attacking the Brutes. So
Honestly, I can't wait for this Pretty Deadly. Hopefully they continue with it. I imagine they will. The Pretty
yeah,
Deadly Brawling Brutes feud.
Pretty Deadly's doing
Because
good. They're
I'm
getting some spotlight.
I'm hoping down the line that one way or another that Pretty Deadly can get a title shot and will be tag team champions at some point because they deserve it, and I think they would be great tag team champions.
Yeah. So the next thing that happened, we had the usual Bloodline locker room. There was a segment there.
Kerfuffle.
Basically had the Usos getting invited to the next week's celebration of the 1,000 days that Roman Reigns has held the championship. And basically, Jimmy and Jay thinks that's kind of egotistical or whatever. Jimmy tries to leave. He says he's going to go get some food, and Roman tells
He
him to sit
said,
his ass down.
Jimmy said, "Man, this is all so stupid. I'm hungry anyway." Dude gets
Yeah.
up, try to get food. He's like, "What do you think you're doing?
Yeah,
Sit down."
Roman said, "I can still whoop you." And then Jimmy was like getting angry, so Jay rushed him
If you
and
don't do
him.
something about it,
He
do
rushed
something
him
about it.
and
Yeah.
himself out of there. So the Usos, more conflict being built up in the bloodline.
Yeah. More tension.
Speaking of Raquel and Shotzi from Monday Night Raw, they go on SmackDown and they beat Damage Control.
It wasn't really
Nothing.
much of anything.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. This women's tag team division, I
Sucks.
like the women. Bayley's one of the best. Io Sky. Obviously, she proved that she was one of the best against her Bianca Belair match at Backlash.
Yeah.
Raquel and Shotzi are amazing, as you've seen in NXT and more recently here, but it's, I don't know. I just don't really get a lot of
It's
excitement
super
out of these.
depleted.
They're kind of boring.
One, I would say, like, there's only, like, a couple strong tag teams. Like, you have Ronda and Shayna. Essentially, who's going to be in the Fatal 4-Way are your four strongest tag teams.
Yeah,
Damage Control, Sonya and Chelsea, Shotzi and Raquel slash Shotzi, not Shotzi, sorry. Shotzi and Raquel slash Raquel and Liv.
yeah.
And then, am I missing one? Or did I say all four? I think I said all four. Those are your main four. Like,
I
that's not
honestly
good.
think, I honestly think it would be a good idea to have like a mid card women's champion, but have the champion like defend it every week, like on an open
Yeah,
challenge kind of thing.
yeah. I think a good way that you could introduce uh, another tag team is, which we've talked about this before during the draft when all that happened, introduce Alba Fire and Isla Dawn into the tag title picture per se.
Yeah,
Combine the titles. Like, there's no sense in Isla Dawn and Alba Fire being on the roster with the NXT tag titles. Like, just combine it.
right. It would be a big match as well. That could have been at Night of Champions.
Yes. But they
This
could have
Fatal
just
Four
turned
Way.
they could have turned the Fatal 4-Way into a Fatal 5-Way and made it a
That would be way too
unification
many
match.
people.
That's true.
But at
Yeah,
the same
just
time, they could have had that at Night of
later down the
Champions.
line. Yeah, later down the line, including like at Night of Champions, they could have done a unification match, which I think would have been good. It would have gotten some
Yeah,
good exposure for everybody involved, but especially for Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
yeah. I don't think the women's tag team division in general is doing good, but Raquel and Shotzi won. That's all we
It's
got from
getting
that
through.
match. Uh,
Essentially, at this point, it's just getting through.
Seth and AJ had some more hype, and then they had Grayson Waller hype immediately afterwards. Both really good hype package promos. Uh,
Yeah.
Something I was actually not really. I was excited about once I seen who Hit Row was having. Hit Row came out, and I was like, ugh, okay. It was Ashante
Nobody likes Hit
Adonis,
Row.
and they were
Boo.
Ashante took on Cameron Grimes, and when I seen Cameron, I was pretty excited. And Cameron Grimes beat him, got a good mushroom stomp in, to the moon,
David
baby. Corbin attacked him.
to the moon.
Well, Corbin sent him to the ground.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Corbin and Grimes are getting into a rivalry. Corbin needs to get a gimmick change. He's not doing well.
He needs to
People,
go back to NXT, bro. He
well,
needs to go back to NXT. He needs to get his Lone Wolf gimmick back and
oh
then get
yeah,
called back up once he's ready.
yeah, that would be a
Because
good
they're
idea.
essentially doing to him what they're doing to Miz, but Miz is actually doing well at his job. No offense, Baron Corbin. Well, plenty of offense there.
No,
But
not to
like
him, to the
his
writers.
it's not him, it's his booking. His booking
Yeah,
is absolute garbage right now. Which Miz, his booking's not garbage. It's just he's so good at being like a jobber per se for like younger stars
same
being
thing as
brought
Dolph
up.
Ziggler and Natalia.
Right. Right.
Uh,
But like I said, I think a move to NXT might be good for him. And a good gimmick change.
Cameron Grimes is doing good, so that's a very good plus. And once he
Oh
beats
yeah.
Corbin, he can move on. Maybe even to an Austin Theory rivalry.
Hopefully. Yeah, because I know WWE officials are very high on Cameron Grimes, so that's also very good.
After
So,
that, we had Bianca Belair. She had a promo, not really memorable. and Asuka tried to attack her. Bianca Belair basically got the better of her. She went for a KOD, but all the producers like caught Jamie Noble, especially. Fuck Jamie Noble. He caught Asuka, got her away from that KOD impact. Stupid Jamie Noble.
I'm surprised that's who you noticed out of that whole group of different producers. It's like, oh look, it's Jamie Noble.
He's the one that caught her. After this, we had Boogs
That's
versus
funny.
Knight, which I was actually pretty excited about. We had their
Yeah,
former opponents being the Street Profits on commentary, and they are just so funny. One of the things they said was, "He's booging out. He's booging out." They were in each other's face, just screaming that. It was so hilarious. Uh, Not a lot to tell from this match. It's just that LA Knight won, which is a good thing. Rick
for
Boogs
the
is
impact
very
on
funny.
that BFT
Oh yeah,
impact though.
that's a great
You
move.
could hear that.
He can do that
Oh,
to
they at
anybody.
one point they said what that stood for. I'm trying to think of what it was.
Big fucking titties. Okay,
No.
so LA Knight, LA Knight wins, and he tells the Street Profits they will get smoked.
He said he like said a great line too. I can't remember. Uh, I don't remember the line, but it was great. But yeah, like you said, he was talking to them, and he essentially said that they'll get smoked, which leads into the whole announcement with the Money in the Bank qualifying matches, which it explains, I should say,
Yeah, I
explains
want LA
who he
Knight.
faces.
I want LA Knight.
I want both
Faces
of them in
Montez
there.
Ford.
I want both of them in there. So I hope they do like second chance matches, like I don't know, like they can't do four. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but I want Montez in there. I would
Yeah,
also like. Never mind. We can go in depth when we do like Money in the Bank predictions. Go in depth with that, but not
yeah.
right now. Continue.
So we had Karrion Cross have his promo. Pulled out that card of AJ Styles and basically, AJ's, you're gonna die. And yeah, that was it. Alba Fire and Isla
It's
Dawn had some hype next. And then we actually had AJ versus Karrion. That was a good hype package promo, whatever. They're good.
yeah,
Um, AJ versus Karrion. Uh, Good match. You know, AJ wins. He has to win because he's about to fight Seth Rollins. It's kind of a losing
yeah.
situation for Karrion Cross. But there was something funny. Scarlett got ran out by Michin.
That was funny. All you hear Scarlett say is, "No, no, no, no."
Yeah,
She's just running.
I
I'm
thought she
like,
was a wrestler. I thought she would do something, or maybe it's just her gimmick, like she doesn't want to wrestle.
I thought that she would just like casually just run out. I didn't think like it seemed out of character for her to just be like, "No, no, no," and just be running while she's
Yeah,
holding up her dress so she doesn't trip.
it
I'm just
was
like,
hilarious.
yeah, it was really funny when that happened.
One thing I want to say about this match is that it should have been after Night of Champions. Whether AJ would have lost or won,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
putting him
because
right before that match, it seems like it's just going to be a little throwaway match. That
right,
could have been AJ's next huge rivalry, and it would have brought
right,
Karrion's star power up.
yeah, I was about to say that would have been a huge feud for Carrion, huge. And since they did it before, it kind of died off because of the match between AJ and Seth.
I mean,
So,
they
I
they
mean, they
have
can
to
still do it, but
they have to give Karrion some wins because I mean, no, it doesn't seem like they could still do it because you literally had AJ not squash him, but
I don't mean now. I just mean in general down the road at
yeah.
some time they could still do it. I'm not saying that they will because there's a good chance they might not because of how things have been going, but
If they are going to have Karrion Cross be a jobber, then this is the great position for him. But if they are going to have him be an actual star with star power, possible world title contender, then
they need to set him up a little better.
they have to get him to win because he's set up
Yeah.
perfectly. He is set up perfectly. He has the cards, nice little gimmick, whatever. He has the entrance. He looks like a star. But I mean, he pulls out that Rey Mysterio card for nothing because he loses. He pulls out the AJ Styles card for nothing because he loses. So
It
he needs
basically
some
means nothing
wins.
at this point.
he has no
Like,
credibility right now. So once
right.
he gets his credibility, then he'll actually become a star.
Which he needs he would need to get into a big time feud.
But maybe
Which I mean, go ahead.
maybe it's just the luck of the draw because there's so many big stars in WWE and AEW right now that you're eventually going to have some good star that's not going to be able to make it.
Right. I think, like, in my personal opinion, I think a really good feud that might be good for him is like a feud against somebody like Edge, like a very good
Oh yeah,
seasoned veteran. Like I think Edge versus Karrion Kross would be a very good feud. I think AJ and Karrion would have done very well, but I don't know if that's going to happen anymore,
right.
unfortunately, because I was actually kind of looking forward to that feud because of how Karrion has been these past couple weeks and how much he's gotten pushed. So, yeah, I hope they do something good with him, at least booking wise, in the future.
So
Hopefully, put him in a high credible situation.
yeah. So we had AJ win, and after the match, AJ said that Seth Rollins, he can be great, he can be Seth freaking Rollins, but he can't be phenomenal. Apparently, he could be phenomenal, but anyway. Cody versus Lesnar, they had some hype there. You know, good hype package promo. Nothing big there, but
No,
announcement of Money in the Bank, Knight versus Montez, and then Zelina versus Evans. So
Zelina
yeah,
will win.
Zelina will win. Hopefully, Knight will win because I'd rather see Montez. I'd rather see Knight in it than Montez, in my opinion. But
I would
and
hope
I
for
would like
both,
to see
but if I
both.
had to choose one, yeah, I
Yeah.
would choose LA Knight because he
Uh,
needs it more, in my opinion.
so then going on to the main event of this, it was the KO show with special guests, their opponents, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Well, KO called out Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns did not come out. Instead, it was Paul Heyman who said Roman Reigns comes out when he wants. And then immediately after, you had the Usos come out because they come out whenever they want, directly disobeying their tribal chief. But in reality, who is the tribal chief? Because they got in the ring, they had their bicker, batter argument with
When it comes to the
Kevin and Sammy.
Usos, and when it comes to the day ones, I am the tribal chief.
That was Jimmy Uso. That
I
was J Dog's
love that
impression.
line. That was my favorite line
Yeah.
from that whole segment. He was like, when it comes to the Usos, when it comes to the day ones, I am the tribal chief. And then you just hear Roman Reigns' entrance music hit, and you just see Paul Heyman's face, and he's just like,
Yeah, he got in
why
trouble
would
there.
you say that? Because it's not the first time he's done that. It's like the second or third time that he said something like that. No, it was Jay last time that said that.
Yeah.
It was Jay. It was when Sammy was a part of the bloodline, and I forget what Jay said. I think it was like either like I don't have to listen to you or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't remember what it was, but it was hilarious because Roman's like, "What did you say?"
yeah, it was a good build up for that match. So, I seen something online. Triple H, reportedly anyway, is going to bring back Pete Dunne. Like, not just, the look or whatever, everything. That it's going to be like a heel turn on the Bruiser, uh, the Brawling Brutes, not Bruiserweights.
Really?
Yeah, I seen something about that. So, I think
Uh,
that'd be really awesome. Bring back Pete
I
Dunne,
think so
give
too.
him a like rivalry against Sheamus.
This dude,
Honestly, would be
this
cool.
dude literally is already Pete Dunne. You just gotta change the name and then turn him heel.
Yeah, I mean
He
him.
does all the same motions. He wears the same attire. He just has a different name, and he's not a heel.
His heel run in NXT UK and in his later years in NXT, they were both very, very good. I mean, he was just the silent type, which he already is, kind of. He doesn't really talk on the mic a lot.
No.
So there's
Bring
not.
the Broserweights back. I want the Broserweights.
Yeah, that was a good duo.
All I can think
I don't think
about
I'd
with the
bring him back at this
Broserweights
point.
is
I want
how
Riddle to be
much
your
fish could
champion.
Bobby Fish fry? Yeah, Bobby Fish could fry
Oh my
fish.
goodness.
How
Yes.
much fish could Bobby Fish fry? Yeah, Bobby Fish could fry fish. That was
Yeah,
one of my favorite moments of the Bruiserweights.
that was very amazing. Honestly. You know what's also very amazing?
What?
Jordan Grace, a top Impact Wrestling player, is reportedly almost done with Impact. Her contract comes up soon,
Yes.
and she's thinking about moving. Well, I seen something that she was thinking about just, you know, stop wrestling for a while, take a
And
break, I
then later,
guess.
yeah, later on decide. But they said the main two, which, I mean, there's really only two main twos when it comes to majority of free agents. I mean, some people might go to New Japan, but majority of the time, if they're leaving Impact, the main two that they think is WWE or AEW.
I would like to see her in AEW.
I would like to see her in AEW as well. I think she would do great. My thing is, with how much star power they have right now, I don't want to see her get buried. And I know if she goes to WWE, there's a chance she might get a little more of a push, especially with her type of physique.
Yeah, that is
Because she's
true.
in the best shape of her life right now.
Right. So we could, I mean, either way, she's leaving. She could be done for a little while. She could move to WWE or AEW or anywhere else she would
Or
like
New
to.
Japan. Like,
It's
New
very,
Japan's not out of the question.
it's a very exciting time for Jordan Grace, especially. This could be a good,
It's an
let's say,
exciting
a
time
great
for any
run.
company that's also interested as well. Like,
Oh yeah,
somebody of that high caliber. Like a former knockouts champion, like I think what a three-time knockouts champion or something like that.
yeah.
Someone that's beaten Mickey James, the likes of Mickey James, Deonna Purrazzo, different names like that. They're high level in Impact right now.
Speaking of Impact Wrestling, one of the top Impact Wrestling stars of the mid 2000s was AJ Styles. AJ Styles this Saturday at Night of Champions had a crazy match against Seth Rollins. Yes, that is our little transition into Night of Champions. Thank you very much. I'll take my check now. Pay me for doing this podcast, please.
No, it
Please.
ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
Never. Anyway, it was a great match. Night of Champions, a great
Yes.
card in general, but it started with AJ and Seth Rollins, which I was surprised about. I thought that would be the main event, make it feel a little bit more important, but
Yeah.
they started off and Seth Rollins. It, I mean, there was so much to this match. Just the storytelling between both, just the back and forth. Seth Rollins tweaked his knee, and they were saying, "Oh, maybe AJ didn't see it," and automatically calf crusher time. That experience level
Oh, they
was
did
shown.
see it.
Yeah, it was very good back and forth, along with AJ going after the knee that's selling by Seth Rollins, and it was actually pretty much the downfall of AJ Styles because he went for that calf crusher, and Seth Rollins immediately turned it into a pedigree, followed by the curb stomp, and then we have a new world heavyweight champion, and his name is
Yeah.
Seth freaking Rollins, and I'm very happy with that decision.
Yeah, me too. I saw a bunch of comments that were like, "Oh, great, we got another part-timer." I'm like, bro,
What?
it's not gonna.
That's stupid.
Yeah, there. It was like only one or two comments, but I'm like, he's not even a
Still.
part-timer. He's only gonna be gone for a little while, like here and there because of a movie, which I'm happy for him. He deserves the spotlight in a movie because I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have like a high role in the new Captain America movie that's coming out, I think next year.
That would be a great story, though. Like, just Seth Rollins has been saying he'd be a fighting champion, and now all of a sudden somebody's claiming that he's not. Gives him even more fire, and then we could possibly see the old 2019
We
Rollins
want
that we should
open
have gotten.
challenges, Seth. We want open challenges.
That would be amazing.
Up in it, bitch, we tryna get higher. Put it back, that cook in the rack, me
me eating that pack of meal and a snapper holding time. Pull up in the primary real, the just not faking the cap. Yeah, killing the trapper, coming back. I'll break new loose, keep up in the track. I'm feeling the beachy, burning, healing, marking the tie, beam, making me screech. Don't clap in the sea, air track and pee. I'm master love, but fiend deep. I'm switching my game, take passion, see even with my shot, no line to see.